Hey guys, EDDBUD here. I'm back, and my hat's back, and the running news is also back. A show that aims to bring you the most interesting and intriguing running related news stories all in one place. Story 1. I noticed somebody had undertaken a new study that looked at close to elite marathon runners, at least championship level marathon runners, and their form, their running style, whether they were heel striking or non-heel striking, at specific distances within the marathon. You know I love a good academic paper, or at least some paper that's been produced with some real world statistics. So a new study that's been produced by Frontiers in Sport and Active Living suggests that when taking measurements of over 50 men and women marathon runners at distances of 29.5 kilometres and 40 kilometres, that there was little or no difference in terms of their running speed, their step length or stride length, or steps per minute between the rear and non-rear foot strikers. In fact, men did appear to slow down more between the two distances. Women seemed to keep a more stable and consistent speed. As you would expect, it showed a very slight increase in the number of rear foot strikers, landing just ahead, but I think it was only about 0.02 meters, so it's quite minimal. They found very few differences in terms of different foot strikes and different performances, and pretty much the two techniques were indistinguishable from one another, obviously aside from initial contact. I think what they did was film all of the runners at those specific intervals at the 29.5 kilometre and 40 kilometre mark, and then slow that footage right down so they could get some key information as to how the runners were actually performing. They suggest that in conclusion, a switch from rear foot striking to a midfoot or forefoot strike is unlikely to reap any specific performance benefits. They suggest actually trying to train and improve to lessen fatigue in the lower limb muscles, and that will actually provide a far better performance benefit. Now, some of you may say, well, Ed, that's fine, you know, those are close to elite runners, championship runners, and rear foot striking is going to make you injured all the time, or more susceptible to injury, should I say. When I'm running faster, I tend to midfoot strike. A lot of you say, oh, Ed, you're heel striking in some of the videos. Well, in a lot of the videos, I have to shoot footage at a lower pace. Main reason being my GoPro camera will record at 120 frames a second, but it only has the standard stabilization. So if I'm running at 7 minutes a mile or 6 minutes 30 a mile, it's going to be pretty choppy, and you're just going to get a piece of footage that it's kind of all over the place. Yeah, you can stabilize it in post, but it just ends up looking really weird and kind of bendy and odd. So I tend to slow down and then actually get a bit of footage of me running in the shoes, and that's what people want to see, right? I'm getting kind of tired of people saying, oh, Ed, you know, in that piece of footage, your rear foot striking, you should be careful, you know, you might get injured. Oh man, have people not cottoned onto it yet? It's about how you run. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different body, different mechanics. I always go by good advice from top people that I know, people I can trust, athletes that produce really great performances. One of those people is Kev Burmaster. He's been a viewer of the channel for a long time. A little while ago he sent me some really fantastic emails with some advice, and I think that's advice that everybody should follow. Rather than worrying about which part of your foot's actually striking the floor, worrying about where the weight on that leg, or at least that foot, is being transferred. Making sure you're not overstriding. Yep, that's going to ultimately probably cause you some injury, but making sure that bent knee is there, and making sure that as the weight's transferred onto that leg or the foot, you're kind of parallel. So making sure that it's right underneath your hips. Hey, I ran for 100 days straight, no injuries, nothing, using that technique. I think that says a lot. I'm going to keep that technique going. I can't even remember the last time I had some sort of injury. However my running style might appear to some people, that's fine. Shoot me down in flames, whatever. Getting back to the story, I remember somebody mentioning about Bridget Kosgei, you know, how she was like heel striking, and we're all different. Story 2. Adidas have launched a new shoe. They're always launching new shoes. There's a new Adidas shoe every week. Actually, there probably isn't. I'm just being silly, so don't get upset. I was interested though that they launched a shoe with a 4D midsole. I think it's 3D really. I'm not sure that it is 4D at all. It's kind of this strange mesh, alien looking type affair. It's called the 4D Run 1.0, which surely means there's going to be a 1.1 slight update in the next few days. No, I'm kidding again. So it has a 3D printed midsole. I'm very intrigued by that as a bit of a IT guy, though I had my mind blown when I saw the weight of 395 grams. That's just madness. What have they made it out of? Like pure lead or something? It's just crazy. I would have assumed that the 4D midsole, that printed midsole, would have been much, much lighter. You know, Boost, some people say is too heavy. I don't find it heavy. I find Boost just great when you've got the right amount. A nice wafer thin amount of Boost is beautiful. But it appears the 4D stuff's going the opposite way. I'm really surprised. It could perhaps explain the delay in Adidas launching this in a running shoe format. As usual, some of the early testers of this shoe have stated that you need to go up half a size. That's going to make the shoe even heavier. So the actual midsole is made of a liquid resin. It's quite interesting actually. Adidas have put some videos up and I was mesmerised. And of course, they did quote as something I really love when running shoe companies say this. There's a data-inspired outsole pattern. I'm waiting for someone to come up with an analog style outsole pattern. That would be groovy. At 169 Earth credits is a heavy price to pay. For a heavy shoe, that it seems. Somewhat of an odd combination there. I don't think this one's going to be challenging the Vaporfly or Alphafly series anytime soon. I don't think it's going to be challenging this one either. After a couple of days of easy running, I smashed it today in this shoe. 7 miles, 7 minutes 5 seconds a mile. And I was just getting faster and faster. Although it could have been that I'd forgotten to take my phone with me, and obviously my wife's likely to go into labour at any time. That's a good way though to ensure that you run fast miles. Also a good way to get yourself into a lot of trouble.
Story 3.
Many a record has been broken on the track and on the road recently. But I did notice 2 national records have gone over in Japan. A female athlete over in Japan named Nozomi Tanaka. I'm sorry if I've pronounced that wrong, but I want to let you guys know about this lady. She recently ran records, national records that is, in both the 3,000 metres and the 1,500 metres. On the 1,500 metres, I believe she broke the national record by 2 seconds. So she came in at 4 minutes 05:27. Absolutely outstanding. She's only 20 years old as well, so she could improve even more yet. Nozomi is a member of New Balance's Japanese squad. She's clearly got a super career ahead of her. I did notice she was using a red version of the Outsole 5280. She wore that for the 3,000 metres. I'm not sure if she did wear that for the 1,500. I would assume so. She broke the 3,000 metre national record by 3 seconds. I believe the year before she missed out on it by about 4 seconds, something like that. Interesting that that shoe still appears to be legal in terms of the World Athletics regulations. Wouldn't be surprised to see a few more people utilising that 5280 on track. So well done Nozomi, absolutely fantastic achievement. I was very keen to big up some female athletes as well. I think she's only going to get faster and faster in those New Balance shoes as well. I bet she's had a chance to use the Outsole RC. Well done. That's about all the running news for today. Musical interlude time. I don't know whether it's me getting sort of sentimental. I'm thinking about a lot of things that have happened in my life recently, and I think music's quite tied into a lot of those events. I remember listening to certain albums, certain tunes, and they really bring back feelings I had when I was a younger man. When I was in my early 20s, I lost a friend of mine to suicide. One of the albums though that we used to listen to together, it's a good friend of mine, was by Neil Young, called Harvest. Every track on this album is just gold, and it has loads of meaning to me. Some of those tunes, they take me back to a very specific time. My buddy and I used to listen to Out on the Weekend, Heart of Gold, and Are You Ready for the Country. We used to love those tunes. We used to listen to them over and over again. He had a really cool hi-fi and stereo. We used to sit there listening to Harvest over and over when we should have been doing university work. Old Man as well. Words, you know. I've been playing a lot of guitar recently, and Neil Young's electric playing is superb on Words. Just sounds so good. Alabama as well. What a great tune. What a great tune. Just go out and listen to it, guys. If you've never heard it before. Harvest by Neil Young. Not a day goes by when I don't miss you, Chris. No baby news yet. Hopefully soon. We're still waiting. Thanks for sticking with me to the very end of the video, guys. I very much appreciate it. It helps the channel out a lot if you'd hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications when I launch those new videos. Loads of you have been doing that recently as well. We've smashed through the 9,000 subscribers barrier, which has made me, quite frankly, flabbergasted. It's really hard to say that. It really helps the channel out a huge amount as well, guys, if you give this video a thumbs up like and share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you